Today we should see how company can react on changes in the funding costs. Because until today we check that what is happening we are when we are playing with the exchange rates. We were able to define different scenarios. Because in the case of value or valuation, you can remember that mostly what was defined here, the VACC, the weighted average cost of capital, which is relevant for valuation in this case, and it was overly simplistic. So we had the same constant CAPM estimation, stock market estimation. Okay, beta, let's keep it constant. I don't want to estimate it, but also at least this was not constant. So for our yields we had different estimations, but the rest is quite oversimplified. And also the interest rate was coming also from the market. So right now we can see that, okay, at the time when I was downloading the data, this was the setting for corporate bonds in a triple B category for 5 years. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. But since then we are in a graduate increase at the yield curve, so we can see that this should be way bigger. So yeah, troubleshoot. But after that,
a few minutes later.
So this is what we can see as forecasted inflation here. So after they are using their fancy schmancy macro models, and they are trying to define, they were underestimating it, but still, if we are using the same forecasting model, then we can have forecast inflations, and we know that at least our yields should be around this level until they don't start to purchase any government bond to bias the bond markets further, what they are doing. So 0.1, because we are in the first year 2022, so this is a fact. Then let's be pessimistic. So ECB staff macroeconomic projections, consensus economics. Let's use this one. So it's 5.5% for the next year, 2 years ahead, and after that, yeah, all the models will converge down to the desired level. So after that, we can say that we have price stability, so they are reaching their objective. Now let's go back to asset classes, fixed income bonds, then government bonds. France, and then let's go to curves because I like this representation better. Okay, at least the zero curve, which is all compensated with everything, we can see that it's still okay-ish. So let's pick this one, and this is a percentage. And carefully, one by one, we are copying them in. And after that, let's format it nicely. Everything is in percentage. And, well, no, we should. Now we can see risk spread. So what is the difference between the government bond and the corporate bond? Because intuitively we could say that, okay, let's ask for the inflation, but still we have the data set, so we can say that at least, okay, in the case of government bond, we can say that at least we should compensate inflation. It would be still oversimplistic thing, but still we are under it by 8%, so we can see that at least inflation should be compensated, and also the risk should be compensated as well, especially without typo. So altogether we can say that okay, the interest should be this one plus this one. And now that we are talking right now, it looks like as an interest rate for a company which is burning money. At least it was burning money just. Maybe I was linking it or not, but SpaceX got other contracts from the European Space Agency, and they moved these contracts away from ArianeSpace because Ariane 6 is still not ready, and the European Space Agency needs their missions. So to launch stuff into space, you need vehicle. So this even starts to affect the company. And we can see that the paid interest started to rise. But still, the company has really low debt, so it doesn't matter that much. Okay, in the case of value, we lost 100, or at least it started with 4, if I remember well, now it's just 3. In the case of bankruptcy ratio, it doesn't matter so much. But this is the medium scenario. So how can we define worst and best case scenarios without simulations? Because in the case of simulation, we could see that, okay, let's take the most terrible outcome from a simulation. Right now, it doesn't have this, so we have to come up with a numerical approach. So we should see that inflation, maybe it will be higher, or we should increase the risk spread. And in the case of risk spread, if we are going back to the corporate bonds, okay, we have also benchmark for that one. So maybe this strategy will work, because after that we just have to download what happened here. We should check the stressed scenario, and also COVID created some funny things here. So really good. At least from here from here we can see what is happening when the market is completely stressed out. So let's calculate the differences. We can say that risk premium 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. We should need 5 years, but come on. 1 minus this. No, we cannot skip. This. This. In this case, we will have the correct pairing. So let's max it out. So let's look for the maximum values. And also let's take for the minimum values. And then we can bring this home. Stuff. Now it's changing dynamically. Okay, we have absolutely no data what is happening with CAC. If we would look for forward pricing for the stock market index, we should have, but yeah, time is running out, so at least we were able to achieve something at this case. And it's it's already good, so we don't have to modify this one. Then the case of medium scenario, still we have to teach this is coming from ELS, and still we have the best case scenario. Well, I made the stupid coloring, so let's remove this, and from the historical data set we cannot. Oh, this is negative. Please don't go back to this level. On paper this seems to be nice, just in real life it's not. Okay, so if we are checking our data, then we can see what we learned here today. So estimated fundamental value. Well, let's copy it here. We don't have. So that was the best case. Then let's see the medium. Value. Yeah, just downwards. Let's see the worst case scenario. Even we can create a bar diagram. And can we say that is this significant for the company at all? Absolutely not. So here we can see that central banks are playing a lot with interest rates, and they are trying to affect bond markets badly. But at the end of the day, we can see that if the company is healthy enough, then absolutely robust on this. So it doesn't matter what is happening here. We should have really enormous changes here to see that this is the worst case scenario. So let's say even if we are doubling inflation, okay, the first year we are already negative, so it's we would have, or we would be affected by it, but not that much. So if a company is not stable, let's not play with interest rates, let's play with corporate strategy. So that would be the key takeover of this class, just we did it in the hard way.